I want to say to all these foreigner men, but especially to the American ones, that Brazilian women are not a commodity. We will not accept your diminishment and exploitation against our poorest and most vulnerable female citizens. If you are in Brazil and someone, man or woman, smiles at you, for example, it doesn't mean that this person is easy or wants to have sex with you. This is a total misconception of our culture. We demand respect to our culture and respect to our women. We are vigilant and paying attention.
Hello YouTube, it's your boy, the Passport Bro Wingman, coming at you again with another YouTube video. And the title of this video is called Passport Bros Get the F Out, Chastised by Stephanie Ribeiro 2.0 Round 2. And the video clip you just saw was another TikToker that was addressing the Passport Bros in a similar manner to Stephanie Ribeiro. And I think this was probably as a result of the whole situation with Auston Holleman and that kind of thing. And so anyway, this is another lady that has a TikTok channel, and she specifically called out the Passport Bros. And I just want to sum up her video, and then I kind of want to address her points and kind of talk about where a lot of this is coming from, how this may not impact us, and just talk about it in general. So anyway, she starts off the video by first calling out who she's talking to. She called out foreign men, and then she specifically called out the Passport Bros, and then she specifically called out the American ones. And she was basically saying that the women there, they're not going to tolerate men come down there trying to exploit the women, taking advantage of them, and that kind of thing. And then later on in the video, she described how Brazilian culture is very, very friendly, and the women that tend to be very, nice and polite, but in her words, don't mistake, don't pretty much she was saying, don't mistake the politeness to mean an invitation necessarily for sex, that kind of thing. So that's what she went on to say. And then lastly, she said everybody is welcome, but she just asked that people come there with respect for the culture and the country and that kind of thing. So let me get into this. So first off, one of the things I did talk about in one of my previous videos was I had a video called I think it was something similar to get out Passport Bros, leave our country, says some foreign men. And pretty much within that video, I was addressing the point of, in my personal opinion, when we travel to these countries, most people should respect the culture there. You want to be polite. You don't want to come off as like the arrogant, entitled American. And, just want to carry yourselves, in a reasonable manner so that more of us are welcome to the country. We don't have any type of issues and that kind of thing. So let me say this. This is not a video necessarily supporting what she's doing or that kind of thing. This is not another video trying to shame, men or even shame Auston Holleman. What I want to do is actually go a different direction, in which I kind of want to give you context of where a lot of her vitriol, like a lot of her talking points and a lot of her I would say antagonistic views of Pastor Bros is coming from. And a lot of it, and this probably also ties into the whole Auston Holleman thing, and also the whole situation with Stephanie Ribeiro. And pretty much what I wanted to show you is that what a lot of people didn't know was around that same time when CNN put out their article about Auston Holleman, there was a similar situation going on with a group called the Millionaires Social Circle. And pretty much what it was it was a group of dating coaches from the United States, I believe, that came down into Brazil. And what they would do is they would set up programs where men would come there and they would learn about how to talk to women, how to escalate things, how to get them in the mood for having, for having well, multiple partners, pretty much to have like how to get them in the mood for like, like orgies and that kind of thing. So that is, and again, this is all allegedly. I don't want them later coming back to me. I'm just going to say allegedly. This is what the article was referring to that they were doing. And then in addition to that, it was saying that the men would go down there. They would invite women through like, the apps, Facebook, that kind of thing. And then when the women would come over, they would photograph the women, take videos of them. And a lot of times this was done without really the woman's permission. And so in many cases, the women felt pressure to kind of do these things. And then the women will come there. These men would try to, try like their pickup approach on the women and that kind of thing. And it was a whole group of men. And the thing was, these men were making like thousands upon thousands off these courses and these programs. So in that event, a lot of the women there felt somewhat exploited, and the Brazilian government had been investigating this, and they were cracking down on these two dating coaches and pretty much trying to chase them out of Brazil. Now, the thing is, when the article about this came out, this was around like March 19th. And then also, the Auston Holleman situation happened. That article about him came out about like a day or two later. So what I'm trying to say is that they tied Auston into they tried to connect him to the whole situation, what was going on with the millionaires social circle, which is composed of two different guys. I don't necessarily want to mention their names to call them out. I'll show you what they kind of look like, and as you can see, they're using non-black men as well. And to my non-black subscribers, this is not a racial type of thing. I'm just you'll see why I mentioned that, because the thing is, Stephanie had called out specifically black men. So I was just trying to show you that the hypocrisy in her was that she called out Auston Holleman, but she didn't necessarily call out these two guys. And one guy is an Asian guy, and the other guy is like like a white guy or whatever. So she didn't necessarily call them out, but she called out, Auston Holleman specifically because of his skin color. That's the only reason I brought up the whole situation. I don't want to make this to like a racial issue or anything like that. Attack on a passport, bro, regardless of color, is still an attack. So I'm not caught up in that, but I just wanted to say that. The other thing was, and this is the other part about this. A lot of times, passport bros, we do somewhat, I'm not gonna say associate with like the red pill, but we do, put it this way, in my personal opinion, there are a few quote unquote dating coaches or red pill guys that I do here and there listen to, because they do have some truth to what they're saying. But but passport bros are not necessarily the red pill space. And this is where we kind of, while there are points we do agree on with them, there are some things that we don't agree on with them. And one of those points is that we don't believe that you need game when you go to Brazil or you go to these other countries. They believe you still need that no matter where you go. We don't believe that. So they came down to Brazil trying to teach people game and tell people that the women down there are very, allegedly, like they're saying that they were very open and friendly and all this kind of stuff. So this is stuff that those particular red pill dudes or dating coaches, I won't even call them red pill, I'll just say dating coaches this is what they were promoting in their program, and they were inviting guys to come out and visit them and go through the program and that kind of thing. So this is where they started to get in trouble, because the thing is, I can see how this could be portrayed as exploitation versus what Auston Holleman was doing, what Pastor Bros are doing. What we're doing is completely different. Like I said, first off, we don't sell game. Number one, we don't sell game courses. We're not. We tell guys you don't need game in general. Most of the guys who are pastor bros in general, they're either down there, if they're not looking for a girlfriend, then they're just down there in general looking for like a girlfriend, even a short-term girlfriend. But either way, in either of those tracks, there's no exploitation. We're not going down there to try to trick or manipulate or outmaneuver women into doing what we want for free. And this is where a lot of times the game dudes and the dating coach dudes get in trouble, because they're always trying to do things without at least paying some type of monetary value. And again, this is not about buying women or buying their attention or being a trick. Pretty much what I'm trying to say is a lot of times the dating coaches look at passport bros as tricks because we like to do things. We meet the women, we take them out to restaurants, we try to get to know them, and they feel like you're spending money when you should just be kind of using game to kind of get her to pay part of it. You don't pay anything, and this is where it becomes somewhat exploitative because the women feel like they didn't get anything out of the ordeal, and the guy just kind of used them for and they didn't get anything. You know, the guy got something, but they didn't get anything. And that's why when these guys are teaching these courses, they're teaching guys how to escalate things, how to get women in the mood to want to do things. And even and as I mentioned before, allegedly for photographing the women and getting them on video against their will, and even without letting them know ahead of time that that was going to happen. So a lot of times these women feel like they've been kind of like tricked or victimized and that kind of thing. Passport bros, we don't do that. In general, whenever you see passport bros, generally if we meet a woman through the apps, it's usually just either, you know, even if it's with like a group of us, we're not trying to you know, exploit the women to make some type of course or something like that. We're not trying to do that. We're actually trying to get to know the women, get to know about the culture, and take them out to eat and that kind of thing. That's why generally we're like appreciate it. And if you notice, this situation only really happened in Brazil. You don't really see many other countries saying this about the passport bros, but specifically theirs because of this whole situation with these dating coaches who are coming down there. I personally believe now, just by looking at this the article and learning more about this, that the whole situation with Auston Holleman and just the whole situation in Brazil now is a result of a lot of the dating coaches coming down there and kind of ruining the culture for like male travelers. Now, I don't want to, again, like as I told you before, I don't necessarily want to go on a male bashing type of thing because the last thing I want to do is cause a divide and conquer situation between men. Even though even though at one point there was a situation where the pastor bros were versus the dating coaches on YouTube. We were going back and forth consistently, and still a little bit of that today. But I don't necessarily want to get into that. But I do want to say that that dating coach scenario in Brazil, that is what is causing a lot of these feminist women to come out and say and start claiming that men are exploiting women. And what they want to do is, since they see passport bros and they always see us having like photos and videos of women, they're assuming that we're part of this whole dating coach thing and we're just down there taking advantage of women to make money off the photographs and videos and stuff. And this is specifically why when I was on a stream with like Pablo and a few other people, I specifically said this, and I agree with one master teacher in this. We said the better way to do it is, one, you need permission from the women that they want to be on video, that they want to be on photo. And a lot of times it's hard to do that because at any time they can come back and say, I never said I wanted to be on photo or video. Two, in general, the way one master teacher talked about, which I agree, was he said he would maybe find like a model down there or like a guide, and then just the guide shows him around, kind of like how Austin was doing in Thailand. He has a guide that shows him around. That way you can kind of get a glimpse of what the women there look like. The women, that guide or that model is getting paid, so both of them are getting paid. Nobody's getting exploited, and you're able to put out content, and they don't mind being on camera. But the problem is what some pastor bros are doing is they're just flipping open their camera in parties and stuff like that, filming people, then they put it online, and that's why we're getting tied into this whole dating coach thing, and that's why in general they're trying to tie us into this whole thing of us exploiting women. There was a guy in the Philippines who had went around filming like the whole like walking street and that kind of thing. He was told, don't film this here. He was worried about clicks and views. He did it anyway. They banned him. So what I'm trying to say is, for this whole situation to go away and for us to be at peace, you need to, in my personal opinion, walk accordingly. What I'm trying to say is, number one, I would say personally, as we are, and most pastor bros knows in general, like I said, I don't really think this whole thing's torn up as a result of us, but just in general, I just feel like we should, you know, be really focused on respecting the culture, respecting people there, not being the arrogant, dumb American like we've been doing. I really feel like Pastor Bros have really been doing that. And then the other thing is, for the guys out there, especially content creators, if you are going to show women or even people in general in your videos, I would very much caution you, especially in Brazil, make sure you have their permission, some type of documentation, some type of note where you can prove that this person wanted to be on camera or wanted to be in a photo with you. Once you got that, you're straight. Or a better approach is like you say, you either hire a guide, maybe a female guide, It can be maybe like a female model. You chill out with her. She shows you around. She doesn't mind being on video. Or even like some people have mentioned, like the Zoom in Thailand. He just shows his girlfriend. That way you get to see what a Thai woman looks like, how they treat you, and that kind of thing. And she doesn't mind being on camera because that's his girlfriend. So those are just some ways you can kind of go about it. So the thing is, with this whole situation in Brazil, I would just caution you to move like again. You don't have to be shy or timid about showing off the experience that guys can have in Brazil. I think that is very important, like one guy had mentioned. But you still need to be aware of that because of the whole. There's no way for them to verify who's a passport bro, what's a passport bro. The term passport bro has been changing so much, people making up their own definition of it, tying all types of people into it, which is why these dating coaches, they're tying dating coaches into passport bros because they're saying they're travelers. But the difference is when passport bros traveling, we're not traveling necessarily there to do dating courses. We're not doing that for that. Although technically one can say that's like a business or that kind of thing. We talked about men going over to start businesses. That's primarily not what Pastor Bros is about. It's about escaping the matrix, setting up, steady, positive businesses in these other countries. Like there's some guys that own actual restaurants and bars in these foreign countries. You have expats. You got guys there that go see like the monuments, museums, and of course you got the guys who do like the romance thing, like they're down there looking for a wife, or they're down there looking for a girlfriend, or or even some guys who are just down there looking for like yeah, for the most part they're down there looking for maybe some women down there that'll just show them around. They can hang out with, or they can talk to, or just dating in general. They want to go down to date women and then eventually find a girlfriend. Because the reason I say that, I caution it. I just try to say that primarily, I personally believe the Pastor Bros, we have good intentions at heart for all these women, even the guys who are not necessarily at the moment looking for a wife. Keep in mind, to find a wife or a girlfriend, it takes time. So you do have men who are down there dating different women, but ultimately they're not down there to exploit the women. They actually want to get to know these women and learn more about them. They're not trying to build courses off of these women. They're not trying to film these women, videograph them against their will. They're not doing stuff like that. That's these other dating coaches there. So I just wanted to differentiate the difference. So I just wanted to bring that to everybody's attention. That's why this woman has come out. It's somewhat annoying, and I'll say this to address some of the things she talked about just in general very quickly. She talked about just when you come out, respect the culture, be polite. We're watching you, that kind of thing. The thing is, if you're a pastor, bro, in my personal opinion, you have nothing to worry about, because the thing is, you go down you're down there with the correct intentions. You're down there with a dating app. You're just looking for to take some women out on dates. You're looking for a girlfriend. You're looking for a wife. You're not down there to exploit anybody. You're not taking the politeness of women for granted, where you're just trying to find some way to make money off of them or something like that. That's why this whole tourism thing came up, because they think that Austin was trying to, in a sense, make money off these women like a dating coach, because they're confusing him with some of these other dating coaches that are down there. He has nothing to do with that. So if I would say, as long as you have the correct intentions, you go down there the correct purpose, and if you do want to have women on your photos and videos, you go about it the correct way, which is this: you get consent first. You get that consent. You don't just whip out cameras. You don't be very lazy about it. For the most part, you won't have any problems. I won't even be scared about this woman, Stephanie RIBEIRO 3.0, 4.0, 5.0. It could be 1,000. It doesn't matter. As long as you come down there with the correct intentions, there's no way for them to even identify you as a passport bro to begin with. And then secondly, if you have not done anything wrong, you have nothing to worry about. So just keep that in mind. And again, Austin was not chased out of Brazil. He left. He left. And the thing is, Stephanie, she never called out, again, these other men who are down, these dating coaches. She never called out those men, but she called out Austin, which was very hypocritical. And it does show you that she's not really willing to go the distance that she claims she is. I don't even believe this woman is. Well, this woman is a TikToker. I think she saw the views that Stephanie has. She's trying to get her account up as well. This is all about like clicks and views. Don't worry anything about this. This is just fluff and a big mess. This is gonna die over. And the thing was, right around that time when Austin was, that whole situation popped up. Keep in mind that that the carnival was going on right then, when like there was a lot of people out in the streets partying, dancing. It got very explicit in some cases, so yeah, don't even worry about it. So I kept this video longer than I wanted to take it, so I just wanted to address the whole point. But guys, please, please, please hit the thumbs up. Helps the algorithm. I definitely appreciate it. So please hit that thumbs up. And please, please hit the notification bell. I want to show you I got a lot of new content coming out. I want you to be aware of it and know about it. So hit the notification bell. So as I see a lot of people that view my videos, but you haven't been subscribing. So I want you to subscribe to my channel. Once I get enough, I really want to put out some more detailed content. Please subscribe to my channel. And let me know what you think in the comments. What do you think about this whole situation? What do you think about this lady coming out? What do you think about the whole situation with the dating coaches in Brazil? The whole, just this whole situation in Brazil in general. Just let me know what you think. And until next time, this is your boy, the Passport Bro Wingman, signing off.
Dear Passport Boys, dear Passport Bros, stop calling yourself Passport Boys and Passport Bros. Are you going to the Philippines to look for a Filipina queen or what? So stop calling yourself Passport Boys and Passport Bros. Start calling yourself Passport Kings.